Good afternoon. How are you? I hope you're well and your coffee's holding out. I'm over here by Vernal, Utah. I just came through Vernal and got some interesting places I'd like to show you. We'll look at it. This is called the Steinecker Reservoir. Right over there. It's all froze over. Steinecker. It's all froze over, and oh yeah, this is where things start to get interesting for scenery. I want to show it to you. Really beautiful. And then I'm running the engine brake and holding her back pretty good on this hill. It ain't no big runaway hill, but you can cook your brakes good if you don't keep your speed right for the corners and things. And we're taking care of it. It says Red Fleet State Park right here, and I think these would be some real interesting areas to come see in your travels, in your car vacation or something. I think we're about 30 miles from Wyoming, or 45 miles, something like that number from Wyoming. So we're going to cross up here into Wyoming. This road doesn't go anywhere else much, so interesting curvy road, this place right here. Rock formations in here. Yeah, I would think tire chains. This is really steep going down here. And I would think you could spin real easily and not make it up a hill, loaded truck on the hill or something. But it's easy to see why they would have a chain requirement on this road. Something about a dinosaur trackway. Dinosaur trackway right here. Okay, it says 5% to 8% upgrades with 10 switchbacks next 4 miles. Let's go truck driving. Come on along now. Keep your coffee close. We got a passing lane. Nobody's coming from behind. Pretty good, quiet road. We're going to get a private tour today. As you go north, you will come to the Flaming Gorge Reservoir, and those are just some really beautiful areas. I've made videos about the Flaming Gorge Reservoir. I've kind of updated boy, the road is sure busted up here. The winter's been hard on things. This is that road right here is just bucking like an old horse. But we got to cross there a little bit. And we'll head for Wyoming. They've had some bad accidents coming down this hill, so they've had the police set up on the hill there and just stop all the trucks at the top of the hill and tell everybody to check their brakes and talk to them about the hill and before they come off the hill, and try to get this hill cleaned up. It's for real. It's for real hill up here. You can't just go. They've got a real slow speed limit on it too. So going up the hill, your truck's working hard, you're digging, carrying a load up the hill. It takes a lot to get a truck up the hill, so you aren't likely to be speeding going up the hill. Not by. So that truck up ahead of me is loaded, and I'm loaded, and it says slower traffic, use flashers. Okay, I would say I qualify as slower traffic. But like, here we go, first switchback, 20 mile an hour. It's really beautiful. The Flaming Gorge is on the same road, and it's beautiful to see. And getting around the corner here and up the hill. Passing lane ends, but nobody's coming from behind, so we're in real good shape. I hate to break stride, on a loaded truck, and you don't regain your speed once you cut it. You're going to be driving that speed the rest of the way up the hill, so you don't like to break stride in a loaded truck going up the hill. Automatic engine fans keeps kicking on because the hill we're creating more extra heat in the water in the radiator, the coolant, and pulling the hill. The truck's working hard. Even though it's 25 degrees out, we're building enough heat and we're not moving fast, so we're not moving any wind on that radiator because we're going slow. And so the engine fan keeps kicking on and off, keep the engine water temperature under control. So I just went ahead and got a switch in here, and I locked in the engine fan solid so that it just stays on. Quit counting. I was going to count the switchbacks, but I lost track already. There's a viewing area up here, big wide pullout, and I parked my truck there late one night and off kind of in the dirt parking area of it, and when I got up in the morning, there was about 30 head of elk just over from my elbow over there in the field out there on the side of the mountain. They eating, hanging around. It's beautiful. A lot of snow. We're gonna have a good runoff this spring. They talk about all of the drought situations, lakes and reservoirs that are very low on water and very drought and critical situation. So all this snow is much needed to melt and fill those reservoirs back up this year. And I'm hoping that this goes a long ways to making that filling those reservoirs up again, lakes and rivers. Flaming Gorge up here is part of that same water system. Colorado, it's a tributary, and so it's got pretty good water in it. It did when I was here this last summer, I guess. When some of the other lakes were really low, they had pretty good water in Flaming Gorge. Usually, in general, I would say we get our, like in Wyoming where I live, we get our heaviest snows in the spring. And we haven't even got to that part yet. But the ski areas were doing real good in Colorado when I came through there. A lot of snow on the ground. This is on the other side of the Continental Divide going this way. Real good on our climb today. It is, like I said, it's 25 out, so it doesn't have much trouble keeping cool. It kicks in some, but the air coming into the motor's cool, and the air that I am pulling across the radiator with the engine fan locked up solid is nice and cool. So I got, what do I got for water temperature here? 180. Doing real well with that. Oil pressure's at 50. We're working the truck hard here. You work the truck hard, you need to take care, keep the RPMs up high. I got 1800 RPMs right now, and I don't like to load the truck down to nothing and hold it to the floor. Put a lot of fuel in it without much air, without as much RPMs. You really make that turbocharger, everything will get real hot in there with the air. So I like to wind the motor up a little more when I'm making a long climb like this. So we're in that passing lane. That white pickup's going to come charging up by here. Why shouldn't he? He's got a passing lane, and he's, driving a personal vehicle. It'll go good. Well, this is, when you leave Vernal, the next place you come to, basically, there'll be a little town up here called Manila, Utah, and there's a gas station there and such. And then there's a real nice restaurant there too. And then the next place you come to, really with big truck services and such, is going to be Green River, Wyoming. So you've got some ways to go in here. You don't want trouble out here. It's far flung and hard to get help. I think a lot of this, there probably isn't any cell phone service. You have a hard time even calling somebody to let them know you're having trouble. So you want to kind of have everything in order. I've got between a half and 3/4 for diesel fuel. You don't want to run low out here. That'd be one of the most expensive diesel fuel you ever bought. The truck's in good order. Come down over the hill into Manila, Utah. It was a snowstorm and I was all chained up, and when I got down to Manila it was time to take the chains off, and it was wet, sloppy and cold, and I got my tire chains all took off and put away, and I looked around and I was parked real close to a restaurant. And I went in there, and they had a fireplace in there, crackling and snapping. There was hand chopped wood in that fireplace burning, and it said, "Please wait to be seated." And I was about the only customer in there, so they sat me right down directly in front of that fireplace. And I was cold and wet from chaining down, and I was really happy and glad to. There's that red truck we've been following. He's hauled up a little. But man, they took care of me that day. I sat out in there. It's cold. I ordered a hamburger and a cup of coffee, and just got rebuilt, sitting there for a minute. How good that felt. I left them a good tip that day. It's one of them deals you just couldn't forget. The hill here, about 20 miles an hour. She'd probably pull it in the next gear higher, but I got everything working real good right here, so I'm just gonna stay cool and easy. I don't want to break it. It wouldn't break, but I just don't. You just take care of things. You'll make that time back. Don't worry about it. You ain't gonna gain that much. I could, we're pulling hard here. You can't, when this was snowing, all this snow was on the ground. Like right now, the road isn't good. But you got to know, to put that much snow down, that this road would have been just terrible. And I would imagine, this was tire chains are not at all, and probably closed a lot. Probably not at all a lot. A lot of work to get this road cleared up to look like this. And there was probably a lot of days in here where this was a chain up. So we're kind of having a good pass through here today. But I would imagine there were a lot of bad days and a lot of long, sad stories to tell out here in the last weeks. Chain up your tires. I'd have some videos about putting tire chains on a month ago, I guess. But we have, with the liquid tanker, the weight tends to go to the back because it's liquid, and then your trailer gets heavier and your tractor gets lighter. And of course, the drive tires that are hauling us up on the road or on the tractor, so everything works against you in the tanker. You have to deal with that. It's characteristic of what you're doing. Get used to it. Becomes second nature. And you do it. grade isn't as steep now as it was. We got past quite a large part of the steepest part. We're still grinding good though. We're still taking care of things getting up the hill. Road damage. I think, I've seen a lot of road damage from the winter this year. All of the water and snow and freezing and thawing, the water gets in a crack in the road, then freezes and opens that crack up. And there's a lot of road work that needs to happen this spring. I didn't see the road damage they were talking about yet. Boy, the road is so rough in places that I can't tell the difference. Starting to see some snowmobile tracks over here on the left. Red Cloud Loop interactive site. They even cleared out the parking area over there a little bit. The wind likes to blow the snow after they've cleared an area. Sometimes the wind will come up and it'll lick that snow back and make a ground blizzard where there's not new snow coming down from the sky, but the snow that's already laying on the ground is being blown and drifted by the winds. And the ground blizzards can be as bad as any blizzard falling from the sky. There's this much snow on the ground, a ground blizzard. So they have to keep working on it. Just because you cleared the snow don't mean you're done. The ground blizzards come back in and blow the snow, blow the road shut all over again. The snowplow drivers is a very necessary, needed job. You can see where they've worked very hard on this road. I don't know, a lot of people talk about taking a summer vacation to go see places and travel, and to be out here kind of by yourself and see it in the wintertime. The snow completely changes everything, what it looks like, and I don't know, to be out here and see it. The sign here says 8% grade right there. So we'll take care of things. I'm going to downshift, get it into gear, it'll hold in. The engine brake is on full. And we'll get down the hill here, keep our brakes cool. you never know what's around the next corner. So brakes are cool. You can take care of it. If your brakes are hot or overheating, then they don't have near the grip. So you got to keep your brakes cool by not using them. Using them makes them heat in them. We got engine brake to hold the truck back. The compression on the engine is used to put drag on the truck instead of using the brakes to make drag on the truck. And it can do that very efficiently without creating all of the heat that the brakes do. And then if I need to, I got cool brakes and I can take care of business. So you'll be able to relax and have your coffee and not be worried about us burning this thing up on a hill. That wasn't that long a hill, but we still take care of business on it. I'm seeing some snowmobile tracks over here. Sure looks like fun. Alright, we got a pickup in behind us, but there's a passing lane. This looks like one of those areas where during the winter, because of the angles and stuff, this area right here, the sun doesn't always get all the way to the pavement and melt the surface off. This looks like one of those places that's a problem area to me. Worse than most. Maybe the sun only hits it for an hour or two during the day or something like that, or not at all. Climbing and digging. Get her done, truck driver. Beautiful. Kind of break out of the top and kind of level off at the very top a little bit. Up here in the trees, up here in the woods. Look at that sky. Okay, we got a passing lane. We'll see if the white pickup goes for it behind us. He should get her done. We're not going all. We're still grinding away up the hill a little bit. Mountain West, it says. There he goes. Yeah, look at this, all these woods here, North Woods. Well, I'm gonna just kind of quiet down here a little bit and ride quiet. And when I get up here to the Flaming Gorge, I'll show a little bit more of that to you. There's a brake check. I'm supposed to stop on top of the hill right there, and I'll try to pick it up right there a little bit and take you down the hill to the Flaming Gorge. That's beautiful. We'll see what kind of snow there is there, what that looks like. Finish up here a little bit.